Oh, that everyone's trying their best. I think the thing that makes me emotional more than anything is when people are trying their best. Like I always, if I go to the theater and I didn't even like the play, and then the people come out and they do their bows, I still stand up and clap because I'm like, hell, you did it. You know what I mean? And I think something that's very central to the idea of Skipshock and why I wanted to put this book out now is that these characters have been living in this really harsh regime for as long as they can remember. And something that one of the characters says to Moon is, you're not old enough to remember that things had to change to get this way and that they will change again. And I think that is an idea that makes me very sentimental, that things will change again, but that you have to work to make them change. So I'm not really an author who thinks about tropes that much, and I always think that I want my fiction to be accessible, but I don't want it to be flat pack furniture. I don't want it to be easily assemblable by the most popular things on TikTok right now. So I wasn't thinking about that, but if I were really to put my internet brain on, I think there's definitely a friends to lovers element. I think there's a massive found family element. There's also a massive amount of trauma bonding, but honestly, what novel isn't full of trauma bonding? And of course, my favorite trope, there's only one bed. But actually in this book, there's only one bath, so. Okay, the ideal conditions for a perfect writing day for me is I get up at a normal time, so hopefully before 8 a.m. I walk the dog first thing, and then I come home and I either generally write at my dining room table, or there's a cafe near me that I like. I mean, this is all very basic writer stuff, but I would say my ideal writer's snack and what I eat almost every day, probably around the 3 p.m. mark, to get my brain working again, is half a jar of cornichons. I think I actually might be mildly allergic to them because it creates this kind of cocaine high in my head, and it makes me really buzzing. Or if they're not available, then a big share pack of Space Invaders from the corner shop, or Space Raiders. Anything with a kind of a pickly thing will just get my brain working again. I really think that the trick to writing good fantasy, and I think I've said this already, is noticing something about the world that you live in already that feels bizarre. Or I remember that famous thing that Suzanne Collins said when she was writing The Hunger Games, which was that she was sitting up late one night watching TV and flicking between channels, and she saw Survivor and the Iraq War, and about how the sort of depiction of both of them and how the people were kind of the same age, but they were being treated very differently. And then that led to the Hunger Games. And I think if you feel like your brain's stumbling on something about modern society that freaks you out or disquiets you, I think what fantasy is so good at, and sci-fi as well, is you put that little thing under a microscope, you blow it up, you project it onto the ceiling, and then you just sort of draw what you find there. And I think that is where the best fantasy comes from.